Good morning. I'm Ryan Doherty, Executive Vice President of Capital Portfolio Delivery at Hydro One. Welcome to Lambton TS. At Hydro One, safety is our priority, also on this site. So in case of an emergency, Jason Taylor with Black & McDonald will help coordinate. And in the event of an issue, we will congregate over by our work trailers at our muster point. But before I get into the formal agenda, I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. Hydro One acknowledges that the St. Clair Transmission Line project is being developed on the ancestral and treaty lands of the Anishinaabe. Hydro One understands that Indigenous nations have been here since time immemorial and are the stewards of what many refer to as Turtle Island. We are all treaty people, and with a commitment to friendship and our pursuit of real action towards reconciliation, we are thankful to be welcomed on these lands. We also recognize the importance of partnerships we are investing in with the treaty nations represented with us here today. And we place enormous importance on continuing to build trust and deliver continued progress. I offer my sincere appreciation to those who have joined us today from First Nations. Your presence is genuinely honored. We will continue to improve upon and energize our shared futures together. It's exciting to be with you here this morning to celebrate the groundbreaking of the St. Clair transmission line. Now more than ever, we must build an electricity system to power the growth we're seeing in every part of the province. And that's where Hydro One comes in. We keep the lights on and electricity moving across the province 24/7. Through our network of transmission and distribution lines, we power your homes, your grocery stores, farms, hospitals, and factories. Together, we will continue to build this network up so we can meet future demand. This morning, we are joined by First Nation leaders who have collaborated closely with us for the past few years to bring transmission lines in the Southwest to life. We have learned a lot from them, and while we know there is more work to be done, we will continue to move this partnership forward. I am now pleased to welcome Chief Namaban to provide remarks.
Hello and good morning to everybody. My name is Ogamama Skamwetque. That's my Anishinaabe Noswin. That's my spirit name, is Red Cloud Woman. I'm the Chief of Amjanong First Nation. I'd like to welcome everybody. I hope everybody had a great, easy travel here to the region. It's such a beautiful day. What a good way to kick off the day and to show in the partnership that we're all working towards, and that is to build a resilient energy future. And I appreciate the land acknowledgement this morning because it really showcases to give a land acknowledgement are words, but collaboration and actions is what we're looking for. So appreciate, and I look forward to the continued relationship that we build together. Chimigwech. I'd like to invite up Chief Kimberly Brissett.
Bonjour Anishna, Chief Kimberly Brissett Dijnakaz. I'm the Chief of Kedon Stony Point First Nation. I appreciate the opportunity to work together with Hydro One and the treaty partners here that I have here today with us and build strong partnerships and continue to work towards reconciliation for our future generations and financial stability within our communities. So I appreciate everyone being here today and thank you. Miigwech. And I would like to welcome up Chief Nikki Van Arscott.
Miigwech, Chief Brissett, and miigwech for everyone for being here today and for welcoming us to the territory of Amjanong First Nation. My name is Nikki Van Arscott. I'm Chief of Caldwell First Nation. Today, as we stand here together, we're at a transformative moment, not only for Caldwell First Nation, but with our partners as well. We are not just participating in energy development, we are asserting our rightful place in Ontario's energy future. This partnership opens doors to economic prosperity for our community, and the revenue generated will support housing, commercial development, and critical community programs for us. Together with our treaty partners, we are crafting a future that prioritizes both sustainability and opportunity. It's about empowerment through collaboration and creating a healthy, vibrant future, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come. As we move forward, let us be a beacon of empowerment and a model for what is possible when First Nations are truly included in the economic decisions shaping our territories. Together, we will harness the power of our lands for a brighter tomorrow. Miigwech. And I would like to welcome up Chief Joe Muskokamon from Chippewas of the Thames.
Ani Bonjour. My name's Chief Joe Muskokamon, Chippewa Thames First Nation. We call ourselves Dishkan ZB. You're in the homeland of Wiiwawattanung tribal, which means our people settled on both sides of this river. There was no boundary here. We come back to our ancestral lands, and now we are forming partnerships that have never been formed before. And while we learn through our past, we also must look to our future and to our future generations and to the future of your generations on your prosperity and our prosperity and how we reside in our territory, the treaty territory of Wiiwawattanung. We must grow together. We must learn together. We must learn to live with each other. We must learn to partner with each other. So, we look forward to the future in this relationship that we form here today. Miigwech. I'd like to invite up the Minister, Lecce.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here. I want to first off just thank the chiefs for their leadership and, frankly, for the good work of collaborating with community to build for the future. I want to thank our mayor. Thank you, Jeff, for being with us. Of course, Bob Bailey, the hardworking member from Sarnia, Lambton. Thank you so much, Bob, for everything you do. Bob is a relentless advocate for the people of Southwestern Ontario. I want to thank everyone who's with us, including our partners and the workforce from Hydro One. Today is a day of partnership. The chief said we need to lean in on partnership, but we're also doing a lot of building today. You know, the truth is we need to build for future generations. As he so, I think, brilliantly mentioned, this is our why. It's about building a better community, quality of life, economic opportunities for our children and our grandchildren. Ontario launched what's called Energy for Generations, our integrated energy plan, a 25-year energy roadmap to build, not for the next election, not for the next few years, but literally for the next generation. In that plan, we codify and commit to fund a transmission expansion 1,500 kilometers. It is the equivalent of a transmission line from Windsor to Thunder Bay. We are being ambitious, forward-thinking, and we're doing it in partnership. A brilliant 50-50 equity model where Indigenous leaders and First Nation leaders are leading the way, owning the projects on their territories, and being a part of our economic growth. Now, this region is growing. Greenhouses, industry, people are moving into this region at a rate that we have not seen. There is a demand forecast of at least another 1,500 megawatts of power needed by year 2035. That's power for like over, roughly a million homes, just for context. And so we got to get on with it. We got to move with speed and do it in partnership. And that's what we're here today to talk about, to profile examples of what is nation building. I mean, today's announcement and the progress that has been laid since 2022 is about moving the yardstick forward on economic growth and community building and the quality of life of communities everywhere in Ontario. And in this region, I know because Bob and Trevor Jones, Steve Pinsonneau, many colleagues in the region have been telling us we need more power, more capacity, more generation, and yes, more transmission to move those megawatts into the region so that we never say no to a business or an investor that wants to create jobs and growth here in the province. And we are fortunate in Ontario. We have a clean grid, one of the cleanest grids on earth. 90% of our electricity grid is non-emitting. It does not produce any emissions. largely because of our hydro fleet, our nuclear fleet. This is what's giving us that anchor of success. But we want to keep building. We want to keep thinking about the next generation and investing in them. And that's why we're here today, to announce that we are officially starting construction on the St. Clair transmission line, which will add 450 net new megawatts to the region. It is equivalent to adding power for the city of Windsor for 450,000 homes. And we're doing that today because we made a commitment to build a 64-kilometer transmission line, to double the circuit, the 230 kilovolt transmission line that will expand all the way from Chatham's switching station and Lambton's transformer station, as well as it will convert the Wallaceburg transformer station to support that increased voltage. This is a transformative step forward. It's about building the energy security we need. It's about creating jobs and getting it done in a timely manner, because while construction will commence today, this project will be complete by year 2028. Demonstrating a commitment by our communities, the First Nation partners, Hydro One, and the Government of Ontario that together we're going to move to meet the moment. And I do want to recognize the chiefs who are with us, the leadership they have played, the advocacy and the role in building out an equity partnership where 50-50 has been the example, not just to the province, but to the country of how to do this right. All the transmission lines approved over the past few years have been done in equity with 50-50 with Indigenous partners leading the way. And I'm proud of that. And today we profile another example where that is our reality today. And so I came here really to express a message of hope during the economic challenges with the U.S. We're, of course, in a region that is exposed by tariffs, that there is hope, that there is opportunity, there is growth on the horizon. There are jobs and investments and Canadian solutions to the great challenges we face. And from energy to critical minerals and everything in between, we are an energy superpower. And we have to be confident as Canadians knowing that our government is working intentionally to buy Canadian and to leverage Canadian skilled workers to build for the future. So thank you all for being a part of this announcement. Thank you to the chiefs for your leadership. And thank you to Hydro One for being a good example of how to do it right. And with that, let's introduce the Chief Operating Officer for Hydro One, Megan Telford, to share a bit of words from her story. Thanks so much. Thank you all.
Well, thank you so much, Minister Lecce, and thank you for your vision. And thank you, Chiefs. I'd like to recognize them once again. Chief Janelle, Chief Kimberly, Chief Joe, Chief Nikki, thank you so much for your partnership. And welcome everybody to Lambton Transmission Station. It's absolutely great to be with you all here today. And I love traveling to the Southwest. I was born in Windsor. Lambton County is beautiful, and its location along the St. Clair River is where water connects communities. It underscores why we've chosen to celebrate here today. To ceremonially break ground on the St. Clair transmission line and take another step forward to help deliver new First Nation partnerships, power homes, farms, and industry in Southwest Ontario. In the next 25 years, electricity demand is expected to surge by approximately 75% across Ontario. In the next decade, it's projected to quadruple right here in the Southwest. The transmission line that we are breaking ground on today is expected to bring 450 megawatts of power to the region, enough to energize a city the size of London. And it's part of a network of projects, including the Chatham to Lakeshore line that we energized last year, and the Longwood to Lakeshore lines that we're building to support growth. At Hydro One, our roots are right here in Ontario. Our employees live and work in communities right across this incredible province. And we know the actions we take today to expand the electricity grid will also attract new businesses and industry to the province. At a time of increased uncertainty across the border, we must invest in a system that fosters economic strength, security, and self-reliance. And we're not doing it alone. We have 5 First Nation partners who are developing the line with us. Through our industry-leading 50/50 first equity model, they have been offered a 50% equity stake in the line. We place enormous value on continuing to build partnerships with First Nation governments and continually finding ways to expand their participation. Because Hydro One believes that when we work together, we simply build better projects. We also have trusted construction partners. First, in Forbes, who have been collaborative partners during the development phase of this project to build the line. And Black & McDonald, who, if you look across the field, can see, is completing station work right here today. These are two powerful Canadian-based construction companies who will create approximately 70 jobs in the region and have deep expertise in building large-scale transmission like the one at St. Clair. And of course, we are exceptionally grateful for our government partners at both the provincial and municipal levels. Their vision and tireless advocation work every day on behalf of the communities they serve. Their dedication is helping to build a stronger province, one that not only meets the needs of today, but also creates new opportunities for Ontario's workers and economy for generations to come. Together, we're breaking ground and building a stronger and more connected Ontario, one that is ready for the future. And now, with honor, I invite MPP Bailey to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great introduction. Well, thank you. That's a great introduction. I want to thank everyone for being here today. It's an honor as a member of Provincial Parliament for Sarnia-Lambton to be here with Minister Lecce and, of course, our 5 First Nations leadership. Glad to hear that we're partnering together. And as the Minister said, when we work together and we'll be successful as we build this project here. I know this is just the first of many visits I hope that Minister Lecce will make here as we go forward with other announcements, and I'll leave that to him to announce. I'm not going to announce those. But anyway, it's just a great privilege for me to be here. I go back a ways here with this community and down here in Sarnia-Lambton over the years. I've worked at the former LGS site, construction, being the member representing the area, so it's a privilege to be here again today. And with that, I think I'll thank everyone that showed up here today. And I want to introduce a good friend of mine, the Mayor and Chief Executive Officer of St. Clair Township, Mayor Jeff Agar.
Thank you. Good morning. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to St. Clair Township for this important and exciting occasion for the groundbreaking ceremony of Hydro One's new transmission line project. Today is more than just the beginning of construction. It represents the commitment, the partnership, and progress to being able to meet the growing energy needs of our community, businesses for now, and long into the future generations to come. This project is a crucial step towards a more resilient, reliable, and sustainable electricity grid, not only for St. Clair Township, but all of Ontario. I would like to thank Hydro One, our Energy Minister, Stephen Lecce, and the Ford government for making this new line happen. This transmission line is going to help St. Clair with its new infrastructure that will keep our power needs on and Ontario's overall power needs for years to come. In closing, it is my hope that this will influence the IESO at the end of the year to grant all of St. Clair's power gas projects that are being applied for. This will create so many new employment opportunities for a lot of the skilled trades in this area. I personally would love to reside in the gas turbine electrical capital of Ontario, St. Clair Township. Thank you.
We will now open it up for questions from the media. Reporters can line up behind me, state your name and outlet, and ask your question into the microphone. Just a reminder, it is one question, one follow-up format. Go ahead, first question.
All right. And thank you to the mayor for your subtle advocacy for your community there. It's very kind of you. Noted. Thank you. I know.
My name's Heather Wright. I'm with The Independent. I'm wondering if Chief Namaben would answer this question. Can you talk a little bit about what being involved in a project like this does for your community?
Sure. Hello, Heather. Well, it can create opportunities for employment. I think it's an example of what it can look like to involve a First Nation community to participate in the economic opportunity of it all. But also, I think that just making that known to people, that including First Nation people, will ensure that projects will, be prosperous. But I think the employment opportunities is really what we're hoping to build and have available for our community members from this. So that's one aspect. But for me, I think it serves as recognition that First Nation participation is important in projects, and that is what's going to secure projects within this region. Thank you.
This question is for the minister. So there's at least 3 projects that are being talked about for this site: hydrogen, nuclear, and natural gas. Can you talk a little bit about how that might be able to coexist on a site like this?
Well, we do need more power in the province. We're looking at a 75% demand forecast. That is equivalent to adding 4.5 cities of Toronto to the grid by year 2050. Every province, every U.S. state, the world is scrambling to generate power. We're very fortunate. We have a plan. We're thinking ahead. We're literally thinking about generations to come. And that proactivity allows us to keep rates down, keep energy affordable, keep it clean and reliable for our businesses, industry, and our families and farms. So right now what we've done is we put communities in the driver's seat. We will not proceed on energy generation without local support resolutions of municipalities and likewise partnership with the First Nation territorial right holders. That is a new policy regime that Premier Ford has brought in. As you will remember, the former government was imposing energy projects on unwilling communities, municipalities who did not want energy projects decided by some politician or bureaucrat in Queen's Park, downtown Toronto, in rural Ontario. So we are democratizing the decision making. We're putting communities, rural communities, remote communities, every community in the driver's seat to have a say. So no decision has been made with respect to the type of generation because that's going to require meaningful consultation. But you're right to say everything's on the table. We want to generate the power here. We need it. This region needs to not just have transmission lines, we also need to generate more power in the Southwest. Now I can tell you province-wide, we're really leaning into everything. And all of the above approach, where we've invested through Ontario's integrated energy plan, this sort of our roadmap for growth, net new hydroelectric power. We haven't done net new hydro power in Ontario in a decade. And in fact, the projects we funded, including the TTN, Northern Territorial Right Holders, they're leading that work. Again, another example where OPG is working with Indigenous right holders to build out energy generation. We're expanding nuclear power, the first small modular reactor in the G7. Before the French and the Italians and the Brits and the Americans, here, we, Ontarians, Canadians, are leading the way on building the first SMR to power our growth, clean power, and we're building a fleet of 4. So we see a future for growth. We're in leadership and the clean economy, but we want to do it in partnership. We don't want to get ahead of the discussions, but I think you're right to say everything's on the table, and we're going to proceed in partnership to build local energy generation that supports economic growth and improves the quality of life of families in the region. Thank you.
Hi, Natalia Vega with Blackburn Media.
Okay.
I just want to follow up on Heather's comment. You said something very similar when you came here in January, that consultations were continuing. Is there an estimate as to how long this consultation process is going to take?
You know, it's a fair question. I mean, we want to make sure that there's some, clear roadmap of how we get to yes. I think the first principle is we've received support resolutions from all the communities in Lambton, Nanticoke, and of course in Port Hope. That's the first principle. Since we've launched this plan, to your point earlier in the year, all the local communities have expressed willingness to have that discussion, support resolutions for this. Now there's ongoing discussions and consultations with both communities and First Nation partners on what that energy project could look like. So to, I guess, answer the question is, it's not going to be a decade-long process. We want to build, we need to build, and we have energy gaps that emerge in the late 2030s and 40s. Working back from that demand forecast, we got to really start now. So there's been a lot of good faith discussions, and I look forward in the coming months to return to help lay out a better, clear roadmap of how we're going to build power here. But the first prerequisite is to make clear that communities, municipal governments, territorial right holders, their opinions matter, and we're going to take them into consideration as we build local generation and we decide the type of generation source, be it an SMR or natural gas, as the mayor is passionately advocating for, or it could be renewables or hydrogen or SMRs, whatever it is. The province is committed to build, to invest, and to see this project through.
And getting back to today's announcement, what sort of environmental studies were done in order to prepare for the transmission line project?
Absolutely. I'll turn to Hydro One, but every transmission project will go through reviews to make sure that they have mitigated risk on the routes. Transmission is a safe way to move power across the province. And a great deal of care is being taken to make sure that the routes minimize any local risk to ecology. These would have been approved through those assessments, and that's why we're here today to move forward on what is a $470 million investment from the province, from ratepayers of Ontario, to build this 64-kilometer line. But I will turn to Hydro One. Maybe they could speak a bit about their consultations and the EA process.
Can I just answer the consultation comment that you were asking about consultation? Each of our communities has our unique way of, consultation. That also includes community in participation, our community members to be involved in that process of consultation. So to expedite consultation, it should not interfere with free, prior, informed consent. So I just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to address the environment, the question from two perspectives. The one is, yes, of course, there are a lot of regulations that we follow, but dealing with the environment is also a consultative process. Our First Nation partners, we do discuss with them. They bring a very important perspective about how to treat the land, obviously with centuries of experience in that. We go out of our way from a Hydro One perspective to make sure we're meeting all regulations, but also go above and beyond. But the thing that people don't talk about is what happens when the transmission line is built. And I think that's more interesting. I happen to find transmission lines beautiful. So there's lots of land that goes underneath. And Hydro One has actually won awards in terms of the use of transmission lands underneath the towers. In certain regions, we've explored vertical farming. We had a great award from creating bee pollination and making sure native grasses and environmental considerations are taken into consideration. So the building of the line, absolutely important, how you build it, how you're treating the lands as well. But we think a lot about the children and families that live around transmission lines after they're built. And actually, there's a lot of incredible environmental things we can do after a project as well. So I would say it's good to think of it from both ends. Thank you very much.
This could be to the, Sean Irvin from CTV. This could be for the minister or any member of the First Nation. Just in terms of breaking down a little bit, you spoke of the economic benefits to the First Nation of the agreement. I'm just wondering what that means in terms of numbers, in terms of benefits financially over the long term. Is there any projections on that? Thank you.
Well, it's a $491 million project. I mean, they have a 50-50 partnership on equity. They have the 5 leaders, and they'll speak for themselves, have really stepped up to make sure that their communities are in the driver's seat of ownership, not just consulted, but actually owning these projects that are on their lands. And I think that's the vision. It's what we've been doing with Hydro One and our transmission build-out for many years. In fact, you look at net new hydro and likewise in nuclear. These are the types of pathways or partnership agreements that I think are meaningful, collaborative, and ultimately allow us to proceed. And so we're excited about this. So much so that the province has announced a $3 billion fund for Indigenous equity participation in energy projects, infrastructure projects, nation-building projects. Not every First Nation may have access to that type of cash or capital. And so this is a fund that helps to backstop that equity participation. We're trying to meaningfully just add value to this vision. Ultimately, if we want to build, And we want to build with the sense of urgency given what we're up against with President Trump and the geopolitical forces against us. We have to do it in partnership. And I think this announcement is, as one of the chiefs, I think, perfectly captured the sentiment. This is not just words. This is action by government, business, community, and First Nation leaders coming together with a shared aspiration, which is to build for the future, to create jobs, to attract investment, to power our agri-food sector, and to make sure we never decline job-creating investment to the Southwest. But I will turn to them because they may have a perspective they would like to add.
Case of Lambton County, if possible, in terms of how much of percentage projections you may each see. So we'll maybe start with whoever would like to take that one, or I can ask it individually afterwards.
In terms of projections, I don't have those numbers available, but for us, that partnership means that we bought into this. We believe in this. We're part of this. We're part of not only powering our own communities, but helping to power the surrounding communities as well. For our community, it's about passive income. It's about being able to participate meaningfully in the economic future of Ontario so that we can provide for the next 7 generations. And for us, we can't project today what the power generation is going to be or the usage is going to be, but we're opting into this. We're buying in because we believe in this project and we believe in the process that's been undertaken, and we believe in our treaty partners, and we've come together to do this because of that hope and that belief that this can profit us in the future and also provide the needed energy for the future. Miigwech.
So just to go on, you asked about how the money would be used. In terms of Chippewa-Thames First Nation, we are actively building a trade school that will actually supply trade workers back into the energy industry and back into other parts of the industry. We're also looking at developing the kind of trade that would follow the supply chain of energy. And so it's not only just about this project, but it's the supply chain and all of the kind of skilled labor and workers that are going to be needed in the future, in our future generations, that we want to be able to provide not only for Anishinaabe people, not only for First Nation people, but for anyone that wants to enter the trade school. We will accept them with open arms.
That concludes today's press conference. If we can please have all our speakers stay for a group photo, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.